Good evening and a very warm welcome to Television Tonga's news package for tonight. Making headlines, Timor-Leste donated more than 470,000 pa'anga to the Ian victims in Hawaii. Donations from Tongans living in New Zealand have been shipped to Hawaii today, and Japanese government to build a new workshop for Tonga police. These and more stories later on in this bulletin, together with the latest news from around the region, sports, and from the international scene. Here's your news for tonight. Tonga's High Commissioner to Australia, Her Royal Highness the Princess Angelika Latofui-Pekatu'aho, graciously accepted a diplomatic note from Miss Natividade Villanova of the Embassy of Timor-Leste in Canberra to formalize the generous humanitarian assistance in the amount of $250,000 or estimated to 470,000 pa'anga. The assistance is from the government of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste to go towards victims of natural disasters in the kingdom. A brief ceremony was held at the High Commission of Tonga in Canberra, for which the Princess expressed sincerest appreciation and gratefulness in honor of the generous contribution towards victims of natural disasters in the kingdom. As a token of appreciation, the Princess gifted a gift towards the Embassy of Timor-Leste through the Charge d'Affaires. Her Royal Highness Princess Latofui-Peka also acknowledged the proactive relationship between the Embassy and High Commission and the deepening of the cordial relations between Timor-Leste and the Kingdom of Tonga through the embassies in Canberra. The High Commissioner further advises the government of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste to directly convey the humanitarian assistance to the designated relief account of the Government of Tonga, administered by Ministry of Finance and National Planning in Nuku'alofa. The Tongan government is requesting the Chinese government to assist the victims who were affected in Hawaii. The government is seeking the assistance to rebuild transitional and permanent classrooms on the island.
Speaking exclusively to Radio and Television Tonga News, the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Sami Waipulu, says the government continues to seek assistance from donor partners. What we are seeking now are assistance from the donor partners to build transitional and permanent classrooms. We are targeting to request China for this assistance, but whoever will step in first to pledge their support, we will accept it. Mr. Waipulu also elaborates that government will be paying the school fees of Hawaii students and students from Hawaii whom are studying here in Tonga. Information regarding the Hawaii students studying here in Tongatapu will be later finalized from the National Emergency Committee. The sum will be paid by Government Emergency Fund. World Bank also questioned the amount of money reserved in our emergency relief fund, and I told them that people's need that cannot be provided due to the natural disaster will use this money for it. We will use this amount, but at the same time we will look at ways to return that amount to the emergency relief fund. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, also Chairman of the National Emergency Committee, Honorable Sami Waipulu.
Various donations collected by Tongan people in New Zealand has arrived in the kingdom and has been shipped to Hawaii today. The donation includes food items, clothes and other items. Linda Filiai tells you more.
The donation is expected to be distributed to all victims in Hawaii who were badly affected from Tropical Cyclone Ian's devastation visit. In an interview with the Secretary of the Hawaii Relief Committee 2014, Makalita Kolo, she says after they heard what happened to Hawaii, they set up this committee to collect donation for Hawaii. We gathered the Tongan living in New Zealand to donate something for the people of Hawaii. Today we have witnessed this donation. The committee consists of 24 members and we seek help from other shipping companies to give us containers for the shipment of these items. Mrs. Kolos says the donation includes 3 big containers full of items and there are expected 7 more containers from New Zealand which will arrive after next week. A member from the Hawaii Relief Committee, Salote Lilo, says they really appreciated their cooperation with the Tongan governments for their assistance.
I think for us from New Zealand, sometimes we see that everything should be run how it runs where we come from, especially Aotearoa. But by the time that we landed Tonga, we learned to be patient and we learned to go with the flow. The system is totally different compared New Zealand to Tonga. Most of the time I think it's very important for us to come and see it and witness it when we landed the Kingdom of Tonga. Lastly, I would like to thank you to the NIMO, the Prime Minister of Tonga, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Government of Tonga, and of course the royal family for allowing all this to be landed and unloaded free of charge.
The committee is working closely with Dateline Transams Shipping in transporting the items from New Zealand to Tonga. However, Transnet Company also donate food for the Tonga Power Limited linesmen in Hawaii. These donations are food items which were donated from the Transnet Company, whom they provided power equipments for the work in Hawaii. However, the donation from the Hawaii Relief Committee 2014 have been labeled for its affected families in Hawaii.
Fiji's Health Ministry will supply medicinal relief supplies to Tonga to assist Hawaii, which was devastated by the recent Cyclone Ian. A total of more than 100,000 Fijian dollars worth of medicine supplies will be sent to Hawaii by the Sea Mercy Emergency Response Fleet. Information from Fiji's Ministry of Information, the Sea Mercy Emergency Response Fleet is a floating health clinic which provides free healthcare services to the remote islands and to islands that need assistance during disasters. Fiji's Health Minister, Dr. Neil Sharma, said it is important to assist neighbouring Pacific Islands countries in the times of need. Dr. Sharma says this will show Fiji's Health Ministry's commitment towards improving health services not only in Fiji but also in the Pacific region. A business owner on the islands group of Hawaii says he's concerned about the long-term impact Cyclone Ian may have on the tourism industry and local businesses. The Category 5 storm that killed one person and injured 14 others destroyed 85% of buildings in Hawaii almost 1 month ago. Craig Airy, who owns Hawaii Well and Sail and Marinas Cafe in Bangai, says his place of business was not damaged as he works from the first floor, but the hotel on the second floor lost its roof. He says business owners are starting to get back on their feet, but it may be difficult to get tourists back to Hawaii. A 62-year-old man from Golonga died on a fatal road accident after being hit by a vehicle at the Tankina Road in Hoi last night. The Police Commissioner Grant Toffee confirmed this to media this morning. He says the deceased was riding his bicycle from Hoi to Golonga while the incident happened. Police have arrested and alleged the 61-year-old driver from Afar for manslaughter. This is the second road fatal accident for this year. Police investigation continues. The Japanese ambassador, His Excellency Dr. Kazuchika Hamuro, together with the Police Commissioner Grant Toffee, have formalized the assistance from the Japanese government in a signing ceremony this morning. The assistance formalized is to the tune of more than 100,000 pa'anga, which is to be implemented for construction of a new workshop for Tonga Police. Anasi Falekano was there and found this report.
His Excellency Dr. Kazuchika Hamuro with the Police Commissioner Grant Toffee signing the contract. In a speech from the ambassador, Dr. Hamuro emphasized the importance of the roles of the police in the communities. He also pledged that his government will continue to provide assistance in the future for the Ministry of Police.
This project is proposed by Tonga Police, which contributes to ensure the safety of the communities, is also significant. According to the Commissioner Toffee, visible police presence generally makes communities feel safer. In this regard, patrol vehicles allow Tonga Police to reach communities and make their presence more visible. These vehicles enable police officers to engage more with the community people. The Tonga Police cannot only show their presence, but also have to develop trust between the police and the communities.
Meanwhile, the Honourable Minister of Police, Fire Services, Prison, who's also the Minister for Inland Revenue, Honourable Josifa Tutafaiva, reveals that the ministry appreciates the donation.
Now the challenge is for us, police officers. We have no new motor vehicles. We are going to have a new garage. So it's for us to use our motor vehicles responsibly, appropriately, and also to maintain the garage when it will be completed, so that when we finish from here, we are sure that the motor vehicles in the garage for Tonga Police is in good order for those who will be following us in carrying out police duties.
The Honourable Police Minister says the assistance will help with the maintaining of their vehicles and trucks, which the police use for their core duties in the public. The Ministry of Police currently has more than 40 vehicles donated by the Australian and the New Zealand Federal Police. For Television Tonga News, I'm Manasiu Falekaonu.
With Real Tonga's upcoming first anniversary to be celebrated next month, the staff of Tonga's only domestic airline is attempting to ensure that their services are satisfactory and meet the customers' demands. Several initiatives have been organised to ensure this move. The CEO of Real Tonga Airlines, David Tapalo, confirmed this in an interview with Television Tonga. Sinlantu tells you more.
Real Tonga Airlines has sent 4 of its staff to Indonesia for a week-long training. This is part of the airline's way of boosting its services to the public. Right now, the airline is directing special attention towards its staff, who feel there's a lack in performance because of one's state of health. This is one of the things I hope that we will move on to in the next year of service, which is to boost our staff's performance so that they be able to serve the public better. Mr. Balu says the latest move they've done will help boost the professionalism of their crew in operating the MH60 aircraft. He continues to reassure the public that they have never experienced any technical difficulties since operating the aircraft. The MH60 aircraft has been operating here in Tonga for months, and it is satisfying. There isn't any technical problems to cause concern within the public. I think the shortcoming in the MH60 operations is the lack of crew members. We need to increase the number of crew members. As Real Tonga Airline will continue into another year of service, they are willing to improve their services to the public to achieve the airline's aim for the public to experience a safe and secure flights domestically.
And that's the local news, looking at the latest news from around the region.